Ladies and gentlemen, family, listen up. Here we are in 2025, a new year, a new chapter. But let's be real, some of y'all are carrying the same old mindset from 5, 10, maybe even 15 years ago. It's time to upgrade. I'm talking about a mindset that's built for where you're headed, not where you've been. You can't walk in 2025 thinking like it's 1,995. That's like trying to stream Netflix on a flip phone. It ain't gonna work. Now, let me tell you something about mindset. Your mindset determines your outcome. Your life follows the direction of your thoughts. If you think small, you're going to get small. If you're stuck in a this is all I can have mentality, then guess what? That's all you're gonna get. But if you start thinking bigger, dreaming bolder, and walking like you already have the blessing, watch what happens. The problem with too many people is that they let fear and doubt rent space in their heads. Fear will have you thinking, what if I fail? Doubt will whisper, you're not good enough. Let me break this down. Fear and doubt are liars. They're thieves that rob you of the life you deserve. And in 2025, it's time to kick those voices out. Evict them, change the locks. This year, I want you to focus on 3 things. 1, gratitude. Wake up every morning and thank God for what you have, but don't stop there. Thank Him in advance for what's coming. You might not see it yet, but if you stay grateful, He'll keep opening doors you didn't even know existed. Gratitude is the fuel for growth. 2, faith in action. Listen, faith is great, but faith without action is like a car with no gas. You've got to move. You want that business? Start working on it. You want a healthier life? Get up and put in the work. Faith sets the vision, but action makes it real. 3, mind your circle. Let me ask you something. Who are you running with? Are they lifting you up or are they pulling you down? In 2025, you've got no time for negativity. Get around people who challenge you, inspire you, and speak life into your dreams. Because the truth is, who you surround yourself with will either raise your game or wreck it. Now, let me tell you a little secret. Success isn't about being the smartest, the fastest, or the strongest. It's about showing up every day with the right mindset. It's about having a vision so clear that no setback, no hater, and no challenge can shake you. Here's the mindset for 2025. I am worthy, I am capable, and I am walking in purpose. That's what you need to tell yourself every single day. Because when you believe it, the world has no choice but to get out of your way. This year, don't just talk about what you want, go after it. Don't let fear hold you back. Don't let excuses keep you stuck. And most importantly, don't give up when it gets hard, because it will get hard. But let me tell you something. When you make up your mind that nothing will stop you, not only will you change your year, you'll change your life. So here's to 2025. A year where you think bigger, do better, and live louder. Your mindset is your superpower. Use it. The best version of you is waiting on the other side of your decision to change your thinking. Now go out there, family, and make 2025 your year. Your mindset determines your outcome. That phrase may sound simple, but its meaning carries immense weight when you start to unpack it. The way you think, the beliefs you hold, and the way you approach challenges all work together to shape the trajectory of your life. A person who operates with a mindset of abundance will naturally attract opportunities, while someone who lives with a scarcity mindset will find themselves stuck, limited, and unable to move forward. It's not magic, it's alignment. Your thoughts influence your emotions fuel your actions, and your actions create your results. It all starts in your mind. Think about this. Every single thing that has ever been achieved in the world began as a thought. A skyscraper didn't just appear in the middle of a city. Someone had to imagine it, sketch it out, and take the necessary steps to make it a reality. The same principle applies to your own life. If you think small, your life will remain small. If you think big and push past your mental boundaries, you open the door for bigger outcomes. It's not about being lucky, it's about setting the foundation for success through your thoughts. What often gets overlooked is the fact that your mindset is a choice. You may not be able to control the circumstances you were born into, the challenges you face, or the obstacles that come your way, but you can control how you respond to them. This is the power of mindset. It's not about ignoring reality or pretending everything is perfect. It's about shifting your focus. If you only focus on what's wrong, you'll miss the opportunities to fix it. But if you train yourself to see possibilities in every situation, you'll find solutions that others overlook. Many people have conditioned themselves to settle for less because they've allowed failure or rejection to shape their mindset. They'll say things like, "This is just the way life is," or "I'm not lucky enough to have that." Those statements are not facts, they're beliefs. And the longer you hold on to those beliefs, the more they define your reality. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. When you tell yourself something isn't possible, you won't even try. And if you don't try, of course, you won't succeed. On the flip side, if you start to believe that success is possible, you'll start to take steps toward it. You'll try, you'll experiment, you'll push through setbacks. Eventually, that belief turns into action, and that action produces results. Your environment can play a role in shaping your mindset, but it doesn't have to define it. Some people grow up in environments where negativity is the norm. They're surrounded by people who say things like, "That's too risky," or "Don't get your hopes up." Over time, those words seep into their subconscious, and they start believing them. But just because you've been surrounded by doubt doesn't mean you have to carry it with you. You have the ability to reprogram your mind. It starts with self-awareness. Pay attention to the thoughts that run through your head. Are they building you up or tearing you down? If they're tearing you down, challenge them. Replace them with thoughts that align with the life you want to create. One of the most powerful tools for shifting your mindset is visualization. Athletes use it all the time. They don't just practice physically, they also practice mentally. They see themselves crossing the finish line, hitting the perfect shot, or standing on the podium. This mental rehearsal trains their brain to believe it's possible, and that belief translates into performance. The same applies to everyday life. If you start visualizing yourself achieving your goals, whether it's landing that dream job, building a successful business, or creating the life you've always wanted, you're priming your mind for success. You're telling your brain, "This is where I'm headed," and your actions will start aligning with that vision. Another key part of cultivating a strong mindset is learning to embrace failure. Too often, people let failure stop them in their tracks. They take it as a sign that they're not good enough or that they should give up. But failure isn't the end. It's part of the process. Every successful person has failed. Many of them have failed more times than they can count. They used it as feedback. They looked at what went wrong, learned from it, and tried again. This is the mindset that leads to growth. When you stop seeing failure as a dead end and start seeing it as a stepping stone, you become unstoppable. The language you use also plays a huge role in shaping your mindset. Words have power, and the way you talk to yourself matters. If you're constantly saying things like, "I'm not good at this," or "I can't do that," you're reinforcing a limiting belief. But if you start saying, "I'm learning," or "I'll figure it out," you're creating space for growth. Pay attention to your self-talk. Catch yourself when you're being negative and intentionally shift to a more empowering narrative. It might feel awkward at first, but over time, it will become second nature. Surrounding yourself with the right influences is another crucial factor. If you're constantly around negativity, it will rub off on you. But if you're surrounded by people who inspire you, challenge you, and encourage you to grow, their energy will lift you up. Seek out mentors, role models, and peers who are living the kind of life you aspire to. Learn from them. Pay attention to how they think, how they approach challenges, and how they stay motivated. Their mindset can serve as a blueprint for your own. It's also important to practice gratitude. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's lacking to what's abundant. When you start recognizing and appreciating the good in your life, you train your brain to see opportunities instead of obstacles. This doesn't mean ignoring your problems. It means approaching them from a place of strength. Gratitude creates a foundation of positivity that fuels resilience and creativity. It's hard to have a negative mindset when you're focused on what you're thankful for. Taking care of your physical health also impacts your mindset. Your body and mind are connected, and neglecting one will affect the other. Regular exercise, proper nutrition, and sufficient sleep all contribute to mental clarity and emotional stability. When you feel good physically, it's easier to maintain a positive outlook. On the other hand, if you're constantly tired or sluggish, it's harder to stay motivated and focused. Taking care of your body is an investment in your mindset. At the core of all this is the belief that you are in control of your life. Yes, there will be external factors that you can't change. There will be obstacles, setbacks, and challenges. But how you respond to them is entirely up to you. A strong mindset doesn't mean you won't face difficulties. It means you'll face them with confidence and determination. It's about refusing to be a victim of circumstance and choosing to be a creator of your destiny. Gratitude fuels growth. It might sound like a simple concept, but gratitude has the power to transform the way you live, the way you think, and the way you approach your goals. Gratitude isn't just about saying thank you. It's about shifting your focus from what's missing in your life to what you already have. It's about recognizing the blessings, big or small, that exist in your world every single day. When you live with gratitude, you create a mindset that opens doors, attracts opportunities, and helps you push through challenges with a sense of purpose and clarity. The first thing to understand about gratitude is that it changes your perspective. Too often, people get stuck focusing on what they don't have. They think about the money they haven't earned yet, the job they didn't get, the relationships that didn't work out, or the dreams they haven't achieved. That kind of thinking creates frustration, envy, and negativity. It blinds you to the progress you've made and the possibilities right in front of you. Gratitude shifts the focus. It helps you see what's already working in your life. Maybe it's the fact that you woke up this morning. Maybe it's the roof over your head, the food on your table, or the people who care about you. These are things that we often take for granted, but they're blessings all the same. When you practice gratitude consistently, you start to rewire your brain. Neuroscience has shown that gratitude actually changes the way your brain operates. It increases activity in the areas associated with positive emotions and empathy. Over time, this makes it easier for you to notice the good in situations and harder for you to dwell on the bad. It's like building a muscle. Every time you choose to focus on what you're thankful for, that muscle gets stronger. And the stronger it gets, the more natural gratitude becomes. Gratitude doesn't mean you're ignoring the challenges in your life. It doesn't mean you're pretending everything is perfect. What it does mean is that you're choosing to focus on what you can control and what's going well instead of being consumed by what's going wrong. Life is full of ups and downs, and no one is immune to hardships. But gratitude gives you the strength to navigate those hardships with resilience. It's like a shield that protects your mindset from being overtaken by negativity. When you approach challenges with gratitude, you can find lessons in the struggle. You can see how difficulties shape you, teach you, and prepare you for greater things. One of the best ways to cultivate gratitude is by making it a daily practice. Start and end your day by thinking about or writing down 3 things you're grateful for. These don't have to be monumental. They can be as simple as a good cup of coffee, a smile from a stranger, or a moment of peace during a busy day. The point is to train your mind to seek out the positives. The more you do this, the more natural it becomes to see the good in your life. Over time, this habit can have a profound impact on your outlook and your ability to stay motivated. Another powerful aspect of gratitude is how it deepens your connections with others. When you express gratitude to the people around you, you strengthen your relationships. A simple thank you or a genuine acknowledgement of someone's efforts can go a long way. It shows people that you value and appreciate them, and that builds trust and mutual respect. Gratitude creates a ripple effect. When someone feels appreciated, they're more likely to pay it forward, creating a cycle of positivity that spreads far beyond you. Gratitude also helps you stay grounded in the present moment. So many people spend their lives chasing the next thing, whether it's a promotion, a bigger house, or some other milestone, and they forget to appreciate where they are right now. But the truth is, the present moment is all we ever have. Gratitude brings you back to that reality. It reminds you to savor the journey, not just the destination. When you're truly grateful for what you have in this moment, you experience a sense of peace and contentment that can't be shaken by external circumstances. One of the biggest misconceptions about gratitude is that it's only for when things are going well. The truth is, gratitude is most powerful when things aren't going well. It's easy to be grateful when life is smooth and everything is falling into place. But when you're facing setbacks, failures, or uncertainty, that's when gratitude becomes a lifeline. It helps you hold on to hope. It reminds you that even in the midst of chaos, there's something to be thankful for. Maybe it's the lesson you're learning, the people who are supporting you, or simply the fact that you have another day to keep trying. Gratitude can also be a tool for achieving your goals. When you're grateful for the progress you've made, no matter how small, you're more motivated to keep going. Instead of focusing on how far you still have to go, you celebrate how far you've come. This mindset shift makes the journey more enjoyable and keeps you from getting discouraged. It's like climbing a mountain. If you only look at the peak, you might feel overwhelmed. But if you stop to appreciate each step, the climb feels more manageable. Even in professional settings, gratitude has a significant impact. Leaders who practice and express gratitude create a culture of positivity and collaboration. Employees who feel appreciated are more engaged, more productive, and more committed to their work. Gratitude isn't just a feel-good concept, it's a practical strategy for building stronger teams and achieving better results. It creates an environment where people feel valued and motivated to contribute their best. Gratitude also plays a role in your physical and mental health. Studies have shown that people who practice gratitude regularly experience lower levels of stress and depression, better sleep, and even stronger immune systems. When you're grateful, your body responds positively. Your stress levels decrease and your overall well-being improves. It's a reminder that gratitude isn't just good for your mindset, it's good for your entire being. There's a spiritual aspect to gratitude as well. For many people, gratitude is a way to connect with something greater than themselves, whether that's God, the universe, or simply the beauty of life itself. When you take a moment to reflect on all that you have, you can't help but feel a sense of awe and humility. It's a reminder that life is a gift, and that gift deserves to be cherished. Gratitude keeps you humble. It reminds you that no matter how much you achieve, there's always something to be thankful for. It keeps you grounded in what truly matters. Faith without action is dead. It's one of those truths that people often overlook because they misunderstand the relationship between believing in something and working toward it. Faith is the foundation of all achievement, the unshakable belief in something that hasn't yet come to pass, but it cannot exist in isolation. If faith is the spark, action is the fuel that turns it into a fire. Belief alone won't move mountains, but belief combined with effort can. Too often, people sit back and hope for miracles while taking no steps to create the conditions for those miracles to occur. Faith isn't a passive thing. It's active, it's alive, and it requires movement. It demands that you not only trust the process, but also become a part of it. One of the most common mistakes people make is thinking that faith is enough by itself. They'll say, I have faith that things will work out, but then they don't do anything to help those things work out. They wait for opportunities to fall into their lap, for circumstances to align perfectly, or for someone else to hand them what they want. But that's not how faith works. Faith is not a license to sit still. It's a call to action. It's the belief that if you take a step, the next step will reveal itself. It's about moving forward even when you can't see the whole path, trusting that the way will become clear as you go. Action is what gives faith its power. Think about it like planting a seed. You can have all the faith in the world that the seed will grow into a tree, but if you don't plant it in the ground, water it, and give it sunlight, it will never sprout. Faith is the belief that the seed has the potential to grow, but action is what activates that potential. It's the same in every area of life. You can believe in your dreams, but if you're not taking steps toward them, they'll remain just that, dreams. It's the effort you put in, the risks you take, and the work you do that bring your faith to life. The beautiful thing about faith and action working together is that they create momentum. When you take action, even a small step, it reinforces your faith. You start to see progress, and that progress fuels your belief that more is possible. That belief then pushes you to take more action, creating a positive cycle of growth. But the opposite is also true. If you have faith but don't act, your belief can start to waver. You'll wonder why nothing is happening, and doubt will creep in. That's why it's so important to pair every ounce of faith with a corresponding ounce of effort. The two go hand in hand, and together they create results. One of the challenges people face is fear. Fear often paralyzes them, keeping them from taking action even when they have faith. They'll say things like, what if I fail? Or what if this doesn't work out? But faith isn't about having all the answers or knowing exactly how things will turn out. It's about stepping out in courage despite the uncertainty. It's about taking that leap, trusting that the net will appear or that you'll figure out how to build wings on the way down. Action doesn't eliminate fear. It helps you move through it. Every step you take chips away at the fear, replacing it with confidence and experience. Faith and action also require patience. Sometimes people take a few steps, don't see immediate results, and start to lose faith. But success doesn't always happen overnight. Most of the time, it's a process that takes consistent effort over time. You have to trust that the work you're putting in will pay off. Even if you don't see the fruits of your labor right away, it's like planting a tree. You don't dig it up every day to check if it's growing. You trust that the roots are forming beneath the surface even if you can't see them yet. That trust keeps you watering it, nurturing it, and giving it what it needs to thrive. Faith without action is dead, but so is action without persistence. Another key aspect of faith and action is adaptability. Sometimes the path you're on won't take you where you thought it would. You might hit roadblocks, encounter setbacks, or realize that you need to change direction. That doesn't mean your faith was misplaced. It just means you need to adjust your actions to align with the reality of the situation. Faith isn't rigid. It's flexible. It allows you to pivot, to try new approaches, and to keep moving forward even when things don't go according to plan. The combination of faith and action isn't about a straight line to success. It's about navigating the twists and turns with determination and trust. Faith also requires discipline. It's easy to act when you feel inspired, but true growth comes from acting even when you don't feel like it. There will be days when doubt creeps in, when progress feels slow, or when the obstacles seem too big. Those are the moments when discipline has to take over. Discipline is what keeps you moving when motivation fades. It's what allows you to keep showing up, keep working, and keep believing, even when it's hard. Faith gives you the vision, but discipline turns that vision into reality. Faith and action also work together to expand what you believe is possible. When you start taking steps toward your goals, you begin to see opportunities and possibilities that weren't visible before. It's like walking up a staircase. From the bottom, you can only see a few steps ahead, but as you climb, your perspective changes. You start to see the bigger picture. This is why it's so important to act even when you don't have the full plan figured out. Each step you take reveals the next step, and before you know it, you're further along than you ever imagined. One of the most powerful aspects of faith combined with action is the sense of purpose it creates. When you're actively working towards something you believe in, your life takes on a new level of meaning. You wake up with a sense of direction, knowing that your efforts are contributing to something bigger than yourself. That purpose fuels your perseverance, helping you stay committed even when the journey gets tough. It's not just about achieving the goal, it's about the person you become in the process. Faith and action shape you, stretching your limits and helping you discover strengths you didn't know you had. Faith without action is like a car without an engine. You can have the most beautiful car in the world, but if it doesn't move, it won't take you anywhere. Similarly, you can have all the belief in the world, but without action, that belief remains stagnant. Action is what propels you forward. It's what turns potential into reality, dreams into achievements, and goals into milestones. Faith is the starting point, but action is the journey. Together, they create a powerful force that can overcome obstacles, break through barriers, and accomplish the seemingly impossible. Action doesn't always have to be big or dramatic. Sometimes it's the small, consistent steps that make the biggest difference. It's the daily effort, the little habits, and the incremental progress that add up over time. Faith keeps you focused on the bigger picture, but action reminds you to stay present and keep moving, one step at a time. The combination of the two creates a balance between vision and execution, ensuring that you're not just dreaming, but doing. Faith and action are inseparable. One without the other leads to frustration and stagnation. Faith gives you the courage to dream, to believe, and to hope. But it's the action that brings those dreams to life. It's the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. Together, they create a dynamic duo that empowers you to achieve more than you ever thought possible. Your environment shapes your reality. This isn't just a motivational concept. It's a truth that influences every aspect of your life, from your mindset to your habits to your success. The people you surround yourself with, the spaces you inhabit, the conversations you engage in, all of these elements play a role in determining the trajectory of your life. Often, people underestimate the power of their environment and assume that sheer willpower is enough to overcome any obstacle. But willpower alone cannot sustain you if you're constantly battling a toxic or unproductive environment. The reality is, your surroundings either lift you up or pull you down. They either support your growth or stifle it. Think about the people you spend the most time with. There's a saying that you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, and there's a lot of truth to that. The attitudes, beliefs, and behaviors of those closest to you have a way of rubbing off on you, whether you realize it or not. If you're surrounded by people who are negative, complacent, or unmotivated, it's only a matter of time before those traits start to influence your own mindset. On the other hand, if you're surrounded by people who are ambitious, optimistic, and driven, their energy will inspire you to aim higher and push harder. The company you keep matters more than most people care to admit. Your environment also includes the physical spaces you occupy. The organization, cleanliness, and functionality of your surroundings can have a profound effect on your productivity and mood. A cluttered, chaotic space often leads to a cluttered, chaotic mind. It becomes harder to focus, harder to think clearly, and harder to feel motivated when your environment is working against you. But when you create a space that's clean, organized, and conducive to your goals, it becomes easier to stay focused and productive. Your physical surroundings should reflect the life you're striving to create, not the life you're trying to escape from. Even the conversations you engage in are a part of your environment. Words have power. The things people say around you, the ideas they share, and the topics they prioritize can either fill your mind with possibilities or weigh it down with limitations. If the conversations in your circle are full of gossip, complaints, and excuses, it's difficult to maintain a mindset of growth and ambition. But if those conversations are about ideas, solutions, and opportunities, they fuel your creativity and drive. The energy of the conversations you have directly influences the energy you bring to your own goals and aspirations. One of the most critical aspects of your environment is the influence it has on your habits. Your environment can either support your positive habits or make it nearly impossible to maintain them. For example, if you're trying to eat healthier, but your kitchen is stocked with junk food, you're setting yourself up for failure. If you're trying to read more, but your living room is dominated by a TV and video games, your environment isn't aligned with your goals. On the flip side, when your environment is designed to support your habits, like having a book by your bedside or keeping healthy snacks within reach, it becomes easier to stick to them. The more your environment aligns with your intentions, the less resistance you face in your daily life. Another aspect of your environment that often goes unnoticed is the content you consume. The books you read, the shows you watch, the social media accounts you follow, all of these things contribute to your mental environment. If you're constantly consuming negative or unproductive content, it's going to affect the way you think and feel. But if you're intentional about consuming content that educates, inspires, and uplifts you, it has the opposite effect. It feeds your mind with the kind of energy and ideas that propel you forward. Your mental environment is just as important as your physical one, and it requires just as much care and attention. Changing your environment isn't always easy, but it's one of the most impactful things you can do for your growth. Sometimes this means making hard choices, like distancing yourself from people who bring negativity into your life. It might mean letting go of old habits or routines that no longer serve you. It could involve rearranging your living space, changing your social circles, or even moving to a new city. These changes might feel uncomfortable at first, but they're necessary if you want to create an environment that aligns with your goals and values. Growth and comfort rarely coexist, and sometimes the biggest breakthroughs come from stepping out of your comfort zone and into a new, more supportive environment. Your environment also shapes your identity. The things and people around you send subtle messages about who you are and what you're capable of. If you're surrounded by mediocrity, it's easy to believe that mediocrity is all you can achieve. But if you're surrounded by excellence, it challenges you to rise to that level. This is why it's so important to be intentional about your surroundings. You have to ask yourself, does my environment reflect the person I want to become? Does it challenge me to grow, or does it keep me stuck in the same patterns? The answers to these questions can reveal a lot about why you are where you are and what needs to change to get where you want to go. Even your inner environment, your thoughts, emotions, and self-talk is shaped by the outer environment you create. If you're constantly exposed to negativity, it's hard to maintain a positive mindset. But when you surround yourself with positivity, it becomes easier to think positively, even in the face of challenges. Your inner environment is a reflection of what you allow into your outer world. This is why it's so important to guard your energy and be selective about what you let into your life. Not every person, place, or thing deserves a spot in your environment. You have to curate it carefully, like a garden, removing the weeds and nurturing the flowers. Your environment also has a direct impact on your energy levels. When you're in a space or around people that drain you, it becomes harder to stay motivated and focused. But when your environment energizes and inspires you, it fuels your drive to take action and keep pushing toward your goals. This is why it's so important to regularly assess your environment and make adjustments as needed. Sometimes, even small changes like adding plants to your workspace, decluttering your home, or spending more time with supportive people can make a big difference in your energy and outlook. One of the most powerful things about your environment is that you have the ability to change it. You're not stuck with the environment you were born into or the one you find yourself in today. You have the power to create an environment that supports your growth, even if it means starting small. Maybe you can't change everything overnight, but you can start by making one positive change. Over time, those changes add up, and before you know it, you've created an environment that lifts you up instead of holding you back. It's about taking ownership of your surroundings and making intentional choices that align with the life you want to live. Your environment is also a reflection of your standards. The things you tolerate in your surroundings send a message to yourself and the world about what you're willing to accept. If you accept chaos, negativity, and mediocrity in your environment, you're likely to accept those same things in other areas of your life. But if you set high standards for your environment, if you demand cleanliness, positivity, and excellence, you'll start to see those standards reflected in your work, your relationships, and your personal growth. Your environment is a mirror, and it shows you where your standards currently are. If you don't like what you see, it's an opportunity to raise those standards and make changes. Your environment can also serve as a source of inspiration. Surrounding yourself with reminders of your goals, whether it's vision boards, quotes, or images of what you're striving for, can keep you focused and motivated. These visual cues help you stay connected to your why and remind you of what you're working toward. They create a sense of purpose and keep you aligned with your long-term vision. When your environment is filled with inspiration, it's easier to stay on track and keep moving forward, even on the days when motivation feels hard to find. The power of your environment lies in its subtlety. It's not always obvious how much it's influencing you, but over time, its effects become undeniable. This is why it's so important to take control of it and shape it intentionally. Success demands sacrifice. It's a universal truth that applies to every area of life. You can't expect to achieve extraordinary results while clinging to the comfort of ordinary routines. You can't grow without letting go of the things that hold you back. Sacrifice is the price you pay to move from where you are to where you want to be. It's about choosing long-term rewards over short-term gratification, about trading temporary comfort for lasting fulfillment. While the idea of sacrifice often feels daunting, it's not about deprivation, it's about prioritization. It's about understanding that to say yes to your dreams, you must be willing to say no to distractions, habits, and even relationships that don't align with your vision. The concept of sacrifice can sometimes feel heavy, as if it's about losing something, but in reality, it's about gaining more of what truly matters. Sacrifice is an investment. When you give up something today, you're creating space for something better tomorrow. Whether it's time, energy, or resources, what you're sacrificing isn't gone. It's being redirected toward building the life you want. It's like planting a seed. You give up the comfort of holding onto the seed in your hand. But when you plant it, nurture it, and allow it to grow, it transforms into something far greater than what you started with. Sacrifice is the first step in that process, the catalyst that sets growth and progress into motion. Every successful person understands the necessity of sacrifice because no great achievement comes without it. Whether it's waking up early to work on your goals, staying disciplined when others are relaxing, or putting in extra effort when no one is watching, success is built on a foundation of sacrifices. It requires trading your excuses for effort, your procrastination for persistence, and your fears for courage. It's about choosing what you want most over what you want now. This is often easier said than done because it requires clarity of vision, a strong sense of purpose, and a willingness to endure discomfort. But the people who achieve greatness are the ones who embrace this process, knowing that the temporary sacrifices they make today will lead to permanent rewards in the future. One of the biggest sacrifices you have to make on the road to success is your comfort zone. Comfort feels safe, familiar, and predictable, but it's also where dreams go to die. Growth doesn't happen in comfort. It happens in challenge, uncertainty, and even failure. Stepping out of your comfort zone means taking risks, facing your fears, and doing things that scare you. It means being willing to look foolish, make mistakes, and learn as you go. But every time you step out of your comfort zone, you expand your capacity for growth. You discover new strengths, gain new skills, and unlock new levels of potential. Sacrificing comfort is never easy, but it's always worth it. Another significant sacrifice on the path to success is time. Time is your most valuable resource, and how you spend it determines the quality of your life. Achieving your goals often means giving up time that you might otherwise spend on leisure, entertainment, or other activities that don't align with your priorities. It means saying no to late nights out so you can wake up early and stay productive. It means choosing to work on your dreams instead of binge watching a show or scrolling through social media. While it can feel like a loss in the moment, the truth is you're not just giving up time, you're reallocating it to something that matters more. Every hour you dedicate to your goals brings you closer to achieving them, and that makes the sacrifice worthwhile. Success also requires sacrificing relationships that no longer serve you. This can be one of the hardest sacrifices to make because it often involves people you care about. But not everyone is meant to go with you to the next level of your journey. Some people will discourage you, doubt you, or hold you back because they're afraid of losing the. Others may not share your vision, your values, or your drive, and their presence in your life can become a source of distraction or negativity. Letting go of these relationships isn't about judging or blaming others. It's about protecting your energy and creating space for connections that uplift, inspire, and support you. The people you surround yourself with have a profound impact on your success. And sometimes sacrifice means walking away from those who don't align with your growth. Sacrifice also shows up in the form of hard work and discipline. Achieving your goals often means working longer hours, putting in more effort, and staying committed even when it's difficult. It means sacrificing the easy path for the one that requires grit, perseverance, and determination. It's about doing what needs to be done even when you don't feel like it. Discipline is a form of sacrifice because it requires you to delay gratification, resist temptation, and stay focused on your long-term vision. But discipline is also what separates those who succeed from those who settle. It's the bridge between intentions and results, and it's built on the sacrifices you make every single day. Sometimes the sacrifices required for success are internal. You have to let go of limiting beliefs, self-doubt, and fear of failure. You have to sacrifice the stories you tell yourself about why you can't succeed, why you're not good enough, or why it's too late. These mental barriers can be some of the hardest to overcome because they're deeply ingrained in your mindset. But breaking free from them is essential if you want to move forward. It requires self-awareness, courage, and a willingness to challenge your own thoughts. Letting go of these internal obstacles is a sacrifice because it forces you to confront uncomfortable truths about yourself. But it's also one of the most liberating sacrifices you can make, as it opens the door to new possibilities and greater self-belief. Sacrifice isn't always dramatic or grand. It often shows up in small, everyday choices. It's in the decision to wake up an hour earlier to work on your goals. It's in the choice to spend your lunch break reading instead of scrolling through your phone. It's in the discipline to save money for your dreams instead of spending it on things that don't matter. These small sacrifices might seem insignificant in the moment, but over time, they add up to something powerful. Success is rarely the result of one big decision. It's the accumulation of countless small sacrifices made consistently over time. Sacrifice also means being willing to endure setbacks, failures, and hardships on the road to success. It's about understanding that the journey won't always be easy or straightforward. There will be times when you feel like giving up, when the sacrifices feel too great and the rewards seem too far away. But success requires resilience, the ability to keep going even when things get tough. Every setback is an opportunity to learn, grow, and come back stronger. Every failure is a stepping stone to success. The sacrifices you make in these moments, your pride, your comfort, and even your desire for immediate results are what build your strength and character. Sacrifice also requires faith. You have to believe that what you're giving up today will lead to something better tomorrow. You have to trust the process, even when you can't see the results yet. Faith is what allows you to keep making sacrifices, even when the rewards feel distant. It's what keeps you moving forward, even when the path is uncertain. Without faith, sacrifice feels pointless. But with faith, sacrifice becomes a powerful tool for transformation. It becomes a way of aligning your actions with your vision and creating the life you've always dreamed of.